In a world increasingly obsessed with genetic testing and individualized wellness programs, a quiet revolution is taking place, one that is shifting the focus away from DNA and ancestry-based diets, and toward a far more powerful and immediate indicator of health, the metabolism. Forget the diets tailored to your blood type. Disregard those long reports from genetic testing companies claiming to hold the key to your optimal way of eating. The emerging science suggests that the real answers lie not in your genes, but in how your body processes food, particularly how it handles sugar. Metabolic health is rapidly becoming the most critical lens through which to view nutrition, disease risk, and aging. At the heart of this shift is a simple but powerful idea: track how your body responds to food in real time, and let that data guide your choices. The implications are profound, not just for individuals struggling with weight or chronic disease, but for anyone who wants to optimize longevity and performance. The metabolism is essentially the engine that converts food into energy. It is involved in every physiological process, from fueling your brain to repairing your muscles. When this system begins to falter, the effects are far-reaching and often silent. Many people walk around thinking they are healthy simply because they have not yet been diagnosed with a disease. But under the surface, their metabolism may already be showing signs of stress. A key indicator of this stress is blood sugar, particularly how it behaves after eating. While the conventional medical approach often focuses on fasting blood sugar or long-term metrics like hemoglobin A1C, a growing number of researchers and practitioners argue that real-time blood sugar monitoring offers far more actionable insight. The body's response to carbohydrates can reveal whether the internal machinery is humming or struggling. When blood sugar spikes significantly after a meal, especially a meal containing only a modest amount of carbohydrates, it signals that insulin, the hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar, is no longer functioning efficiently. This inefficiency is the beginning of a cascade that can lead to weight gain, fatigue, inflammation, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. What makes metabolic dysfunction particularly insidious is how gradually it develops. Many people maintain the same diet and exercise routine for years, unaware that their metabolism is shifting. It is often only after a layer of abdominal fat appears, or when energy levels dip without explanation, that concern arises. But even then, many dismiss these changes as normal aging rather than warning signs of deeper imbalances. The truth is that insulin resistance, a condition in which cells become less responsive to insulin signal, is often at the root of these changes. In its early stages, insulin resistance can be subtle. Blood sugar may still fall within the normal range on standard lab tests, but the body is working overtime to keep it there. The pancreas begins producing more insulin to compensate, placing strain on the beta cells responsible for insulin production. Over time, this strain can lead to beta cell fatigue, reducing the body's ability to regulate blood sugar effectively. At this point, the individual begins to see more obvious signs: higher fasting glucose levels, elevated hemoglobin A1C, and an increased risk for chronic diseases. But even before these markers change, there are behavioral and physical cues. Frequent hunger, cravings for sweets or carbs, difficulty losing weight, and energy crashes after meals all point toward metabolic stress. One of the most common misconceptions in nutrition is the belief that there is a universally healthy diet that works for everyone. While diets like the Mediterranean or plant-based approaches are often praised for their benefits, they may not be effective, or even safe, for individuals with compromised metabolic function. This is because a person with insulin resistance cannot process carbohydrates the same way a metabolically healthy person can. Even seemingly healthy foods like fruits, smoothies, or whole grains can trigger significant blood sugar spikes in those with insulin dysfunction. These spikes not only increase inflammation and fat storage but also lead to a cycle of hunger and energy crashes that further destabilize the system. For this reason, a growing number of metabolic experts recommend a low-carbohydrate, high-fat diet for individuals with insulin resistance. The rationale is simple. By removing the dietary stimulus that causes insulin surges, the pancreas is given a chance to rest, and the body can begin to repair the damage. This approach may involve reducing daily carbohydrate intake to levels that were once considered extreme, sometimes as low as what is found in a single piece of fruit. What emerges is a pattern of eating that prioritizes foods with virtually zero carbohydrates, animal proteins, fatty cuts of meat, eggs, fish, and carefully selected low-carb vegetables. These foods provide essential nutrients without overloading the metabolic system. What sets this new approach apart from traditional dieting is its reliance on data. Instead of following generalized rules or relying on subjective symptoms, individuals can use inexpensive tools to measure how their body is responding to food in real time. One of the most powerful tools is the glucometer, a small handheld device that measures blood sugar from a finger prick. A more advanced option is the continuous glucose monitor, which provides a minute-by-minute view of how glucose levels fluctuate throughout the day and night. With these tools, people can see the immediate impact of different meals, activities, and even stress on their metabolic health. This feedback loop allows for true nutritional personalization. It turns the act of eating into an experiment, where the body's reaction guides future decisions. Some may find they can tolerate small amounts of berries or avocado, while others discover that even these seemingly benign foods push their glucose too high. Such insights not only improve metabolic health but also empower individuals with a sense of control. They can stop guessing, stop following generic plans, and instead build a way of eating that is uniquely suited to their biology. For those with significant metabolic dysfunction, the path to recovery is not quick. Years of insulin overproduction take their toll, and healing requires consistent adherence to a metabolic-friendly diet. This often means eliminating the foods that were once staples and adopting a new relationship with hunger, satiety, and nutrition. It also requires patience. While some improvements in blood sugar can occur within days of reducing carbohydrate intake, true restoration of insulin sensitivity and beta cell function may take months or even years. But the rewards are substantial. Improved energy, mental clarity, weight loss, and reduced risk of chronic disease are just the beginning. Many also report improvements in skin health, sleep quality, mood stability, and exercise performance. There is also a deeper psychological benefit. When people understand what is happening inside their body and see the impact of their choices, they develop a sense of confidence and autonomy that no external diet plan can provide. It is important to note that not all carbohydrates are inherently bad. In fact, for metabolically healthy individuals, carbohydrates from whole foods can play a valuable role in the diet. They provide energy, support athletic performance, and contribute to hormonal balance. However, the key distinction is the body's ability to handle them. Those with robust insulin sensitivity can eat a range of carbohydrate-containing foods without negative consequences. Their bodies efficiently shuttle glucose into cells, avoiding large spikes or crashes. In fact, for athletes or highly active individuals, periods of carbohydrate consumption may enhance recovery and performance. But for the growing number of people who are metabolically compromised, carbohydrates must be treated with caution. Until insulin sensitivity is restored, the risks of overconsumption outweigh the benefits. This does not mean they are off limits forever. In some cases, as metabolic health improves, individuals may be able to reintroduce certain carbohydrates in moderation. But the process must be guided by data and observation, not wishful thinking. What this new paradigm ultimately calls for is a shift in awareness. Rather than focusing on weight or calories, people need to start thinking in terms of metabolic health. They need to understand that conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and obesity do not emerge overnight. They are the result of years of metabolic stress, often undetected by routine lab tests. This awareness should start early. Children and teenagers who struggle with acne, weight gain, or fatigue may already be showing signs of insulin resistance. Early intervention through dietary changes could prevent decades of suffering and disease. It is also a call to the medical community to move beyond symptom management and begin treating the root cause of so many modern illnesses. This means moving away from blanket advice and developing tools and protocols that help individuals track and reverse metabolic damage. While the technology and testing may sound complex, the dietary advice is elegantly simple: eat real food. Eliminate processed carbohydrates, sugar-laden snacks, and industrial oils. Focus on nutrient-dense sources of fat and protein. Avoid artificial ingredients, empty calories, and anything that causes your blood sugar to swing. For many, the carnivore diet, a way of eating that focuses exclusively on animal foods, becomes the most straightforward way to achieve this. It removes the guesswork and provides the body with all essential nutrients without the metabolic burden of carbohydrates. However, even this diet must be approached with care, ensuring that organ meats, bone broth, and other nutrient-rich elements are included. Others may find that a ketogenic or very low-carb version of whole food eating works best for their lifestyle. What matters most is the principle: reduce insulin demand, monitor the body's responses, and give the metabolism time and space to heal. The most revolutionary idea in modern nutrition may not be a specific food or supplement, but the ability to listen to the body in real time. By using tools that measure blood sugar, people can finally get out of the fog of dietary confusion and into a place of clarity and empowerment. Health is not about perfection. It is about alignment, aligning what you eat with what your body can handle. And in a world full of one-size-fits-all advice, this approach is refreshingly personal. By focusing on metabolic health, we are not just preventing disease, we are enhancing life. We are giving people the tools to feel better, think clearer, move more freely, and live longer. That is a future worth striving for. And there you have it, your metabolism is the real game changer when it comes to health, not your DNA. By focusing on how your body responds to food, especially your blood sugar levels, you can take back control of your energy, your weight, and your long-term health. If this video opened your eyes, imagine what happens when you start tracking your own data. It's not about following trends, it's about listening to your body, making informed choices, and building a lifestyle that works for you. So if you're tired of one-size-fits-all diets and you're ready to dive into real, personalized health, start by checking your blood sugar. It's simple, it's powerful, and it could be the most important health habit you ever start. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this valuable, and subscribe for more science-based insights into how to eat, live, and feel better every day. Thanks for watching.